everyone to the ISSIP Q3 2018 Board of Directors meeting. I'll turn it over to our president, Rama Ikiraju, to get us started. Rama?
Hey, thank you, Yassi. Hi, everybody. Good to see some new faces and good attendance this time, better than last time. So welcome, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining the call. We are going to be giving an overview of what we have been doing at ISSIP as part of this third quarter Board of Directors meeting. So you the next slide, Yassi. Yeah, and I want to thank Yassi, as always, for pulling all the work that everybody has been doing together to prepare these slides. So some of the new developments that have taken place, we have the tradition of electing a vice president every year, who then goes on to become a president the following year. So the ISSIP's vice president elections have happened and the results are out. So and you all saw the announcement. We'll talk a little bit about that, the process and the candidates who ran. So this is the agenda we're going through. We'll also give you an update on some of the innovation research projects that we've been doing, specifically in the area of bringing AI focus to ISSIP. So we will give an update on that, and we have Heather will talk about this membership, chair of the membership committee, the new member, welcoming that person. Then we had a very good first kickoff year with the Service Innovation Award. And so we will continue that this year too. Ralph will give an update on the Service Innovation Award process and the timeline for it. Everybody is welcome to apply. And we'll discuss a little bit about that. And Yassi then we'll talk about this NSF Research Award proposal that she's working on, and a whole bunch of other updates. So in the interest of time, I won't read through all of them, but we'll kind of go through the rest of them quickly here. All right, so highlights of Q3. I think we already discussed many of these things, right? We'll talk about the main things that were accomplished in the third quarter were that the VP elections were held in an open, transparent manner, and we have the elected person here. You know, we had 4 outstanding candidates: Dr. Clara Bassano, Gerhard Gudurgan. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing the last names or first names properly, and Kazuyoshi-san from Japan, and Dr. Ansi. And I wouldn't pronounce the last name because I worry about really butchering it. We had really great set of candidates, and if you look at their profiles, it's an honor and privilege to actually have them volunteer their time and interest and commitment to working for ISSIP organization. And thank you all for running. We had total 109 folks who voted for it, and it was great. And you know, Dr. Gerhard Gudurgan is the one who has been elected as the members with the highest number of votes. And here it is, more information about him and his distinguished career and accomplishments. We are very much eagerly looking forward to working with Gerhard, who has already been a very active member and a contributor to ISSIP, joining ISSIP team as in the capacity of vice president next year. And next year, of course, our own Heather will be the president for the organization. So we're excited. Congratulations, Gerhard, and welcome on board. I hope he's on the call today. Is he?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
You want to say hello?
Yes, Yassi, I would be happy to say hello to everybody. And I would like to say that definitely, first I would like to thank you, everybody. It's a great honor. And of course, I would like to thank you for your trust that everybody is giving me in order to make ISSIP an even more successful association and community. And it's actually 2006 that I first met James Borer at a conference in Germany about service science. And since then, when we developed in Aachen University the service area, it became a fascinating thing. And today we are more focusing on transformation of the society into a service or into a new economy. And actually what has been discussed at this time 10 years ago is becoming more and more actually relevant actually today when we are talking about ecosystem design and the digital economy. And I'm very happy that I'm quite confident, or I'm definitely confident that what has been of a seed from 10 years ago, or even more than 10 years ago, is growing now, and would be happy to increase the relevance of what ISSIP is doing and to make it accessible to the industry. And that's basically what I'm pushing forward, I think, together with Yassi and the Heather, for example, in our team about Service Innovation Framework for the last years, and would be happy to contribute into this direction for the next years. Many thanks once again.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Thank you, Gerhard, once again. Welcome on board. All right, so we have an update on the innovation research projects that we are driving. Last time we had Gandhi Shivakumar come join this board of directors call to give an update. This time the time zone doesn't quite work. She is in Australia. We have the second project lead, Keshav, who is here. But let me, and I'll have him say a few words about it, but let me first give a brief introduction to these two projects for those of you who may not have heard about them before or new to them, or a refresher could be helpful as well if you have heard them before. So the main goal here for these two projects that we are driving under the AI focus is how do we encourage more student community and academic and industry community to actively explore and experiment with AI services, which are foundational for building AI applications. And as part of that, there are two specific aspects that we looked at and said, in order to really enable and drive this exploration, open exploration, we need a way for researchers and students to first know what are all the different kinds of data sets that are available that they can use to build or experiment with AI models. And so that was one of the projects. That's the second project that's listed. That's the open AI data set. You might argue that, yeah, there is Kaggle and several other data sets. What is the value of cataloging and creating yet another data set cataloging project? And the argument there is that really, Kaggle is one of them, and there are many more academic and others that are tucked away that are not necessarily cataloged. That's part of it. And part of it is also that having these data sets handy to really make the exploration easy for the next step, which is the evaluation that we are building. So we wanted ISSIP to have all of this information offer all of this information to whoever the community is, the students or the industry or the academia, all together in one place. So the dataset project got started. First, Keshav Viswanatha, who is currently a student at the University of California, Berkeley, he created that initial dataset and is now actively working to enhance it, improve it, make it more searchable and all. So I'll have him talk about that in just a bit. Then the second project related to that is, okay, well, once you build out once you have an understanding and access to these data sets, or at least you know which ones are, how do you actually start to figure out which of the AI models that are out there you want to use for building AI services, be it speech to text, natural language understanding, whatnot. And there are many vendors and as well as companies, academic institutions that are releasing these AI models out there. So it'll be good for us to be able to provide a framework and a platform for people to experiment with, to test and to compare the performance of these different models. How does it work? Speech to text. What is the word error accuracy? What is the accuracy of sentiment model that is being offered across various ones, and how exactly it works, and so on. So we built this test and evaluation framework under the leadership of Gandhi and a few volunteers, all from IBM, and we made this code available on ISSIP's Git. We have a GitHub repository, ISSIP's Git. We are going to release a blog about it in the next week or so, describing what these two projects are about, and open it up for folks. Obviously, this is a starting point. There's a lot more work that needs to be done to really make it comprehensive. Right now, the test framework only enables you to test 2 of the services, speech and sentiment, but the framework itself is extensible and people can add additional services. And that's the whole point, that we won't be able to do all the work, and we won't be able to do pre-work to evaluate and post all the results, but we provide you framework and code, and it's all available. You can use that to build, extend it, and contribute it back so that it becomes a community project where everybody can come and build out these things. So that's really, these are 2 innovation projects. Obviously, they're not going to end at the end of third quarter or at the end of the year. They'll continue, and we have this good set of voluntary team members from IBM continuing to do this work, as well as Keshav, and we welcome others to come and join and contribute. And that's really the purpose for putting out a blog post later on, to invite more from the community folks to come join this project, to make it a collaborative effort for everybody to benefit from. So with that as the 2 projects introduction, let me have Keshav now come on board, who is on the call, to say a few words about this open data set project. Keshav, over to you.
All right, thank you, Rama. So actually, let me just go ahead and share my screen, if I can do that real quick, just to show the.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, seeing.
Do that.
Okay, great. Now I can do that. Okay. Can you guys see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, it's been really great working on this open datasets project. So yeah, I guess basically kind of a preface to all of this, basically what I realized is I was trying to do some AI and machine learning projects, and what I found is that it's not that easy to find the right data sets for a specific type of project. And so that's when Rama came to me with this idea of cataloging all the data sets and putting them in one place. And I really like the idea, and so I took on this project. And so what you're seeing here is a list of, I think, over 100 data sets and links that contain lists of data sets. And this is a searchable list. So for example, if I type sentiment here, sentiment, I get a couple of results for data sets that have to do with sentiment analysis. And so right now, basically we just have this basic search and the list. What we're trying to do is, first of all, add more data sets to this list. That this list will continue to grow as more and more data sets are added to the internet every day. And then kind of the next thing I'm trying to do is to kind of improve this interface. Right now, this list goes all the way down to the bottom here. And yeah, what I found is definitely there's a lot more that I can add to the search capabilities and other things for this data set list. And then there's also this link where you can submit your own data sets if you find something that's not already in the list. And so this will go through some internal review process, and then it'll be added to our list of data sets, which will show up then immediately in this list. And so yeah, kind of the next steps moving forward are really improving this UI, and then improving the search, as well as just adding more data sets to this list. Yeah, I guess.
Excellent.
There are some industry standard data sets that are used that are based on movie ratings. There's one called Movie Lens. And there's one that's a Netflix data set. And have you included those? If not, I can connect you with some people who can tell you.
If I may, just in the interest of time, thank you, Pankaj, for that. And there'll be time at the end to hopefully for discussion. So I would suggest that we move on. Sorry for that.
And add any links in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But great suggestion, Pankaj.
Yeah, thanks, Pankaj, and thanks, Keshav, for that the demo. This is great. Thanks a lot for your work and continued work in this project.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I think Gandhi gave a demo last time of the thing, or talked about it. We have a working demo of the other one too, and it's more information about it is available on GitHub. When we release the blog post, we'll actually release a mini video with it as well as to how to go about using this. So it'll make it easy. So watch out for that blog with video links for both the open data sets and the AI. This other second innovation project around AI service testing framework. So that's a quick update on that. And I think the next one will be covered by Heather, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So over to you.
Thank you so much, Rama and Keza. Great work.
Thanks, all. Hi, I'm Heather. I'm the current Vice President of ISSIP, and I wanted to take a moment just to welcome and thank our newest chair to ISSIP, who's the chair of our membership committee. Corbin Wall is a project manager at Cisco. His role has really been engaging and really bringing in ISSIP members to additional programs that we're running, helping them understand a little bit more about some of the services we offer and getting them more involved in some of the programs that we have going on, either participating or volunteering. So it's a sort of a dual role. Corbin comes to us from a couple of years at Cisco that he's been there. He's a background in IT operations and in business transformation. And if you happen to follow him, if you look at his Twitter or Facebook account, he is all over the world. So it's a lot of fun to see some of his travels and adventures, and highly recommend getting a nice view of the world just by looking at what he's doing. But Corbin, thank you so much for joining us, for volunteering your time, and for really making a difference in the satisfaction that our members can get, and teach them a little bit more about how to participate and how to take advantage of our services.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Heather. And it's good to see you. We miss you here at Cisco, but I enjoy looking at you and seeing your adventures at Facebook. So it's very exciting. And thank you for the warm welcome. And I want to take the time to thank all the members on the call for engaging with ISSIP. And if there's anything that I can help out with, please feel free to reach out to me. In a little bit, I'll just link in the chat to my LinkedIn as well as my email address. So feel free to reach out anytime. Just a quick few statistics for you. We're over 1,300 members. So since July, that's about 2 to 3% growth. So I'm happy if there are any new members on the call. Welcome to ISSIP. Just a couple of quick things that I wanted to cover was ways to engage your company or institution on behalf of ISSIP. One thing that I tried to do with Cisco was try to create an internal mailer that turns into kind of a club, as we call here, is an employee resource organization. And that's what I want the message to be, is that, this isn't just an international society outside of what you're currently doing. Engage different members. There's a wealth of knowledge to be shared and best practices. So if you can create some sort of community within your academic institution or your company, or if you're a student, find other students that are interested in service science or business transformation. It's great to have some way to disseminate information in a way that's consolidated, as opposed to mass email blasts. I know that Susan, and another thing that I wanted to promote was the Thursday learning forums. Right now the session is on cognitive science and machine learning and AI. And although that's not my field, I've learned so much. And that's what ISSIP is all about, is developing those T-shaped individuals. So your participation is absolutely critical. And it's very engaging when we have a lot of people on the call. So one thing that I've been able to do with those mailers is reinforce participation in that, because I know that our inboxes grow rapidly throughout the day. So it's a great way to get reminders out. And lastly, something new that I wanted to work on that I discussed with Yasi and Jim was a Women in Technology spotlight, maybe in one of our newsletters. So I think that it's great to have representation from different groups. And all of my managers at Cisco have been women, and then Heather is actually one of my mentors that I lean on for a lot of information and look up to. So if you're on the call and you're a woman in technology, please feel free to, share your story with me. And that way we can, hopefully encourage other women in the industry and show them that, this is a great career path in service science and in tech. But yeah, that's all for me. I don't want to take up too much time. And, like I said, connect with me. I share lots of pictures. And if I'm ever in your part of the world, feel free. I will take you out to dinner. And I think next month I'll be in Israel and Egypt. So if there are any members on the call from that region, if you're in Tel Aviv, let me know and we can meet up. But thank you. And it's a pleasure to meet all of you. And I'll give it on back to
I'll take it. Thanks, thanks, Corbin. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and,
you're welcome.
Thanks, Heather, for that introduction. If Ralph is on the call, I don't know if Ralph is on the call. He's the chair of our Service Innovation Award Committee. And if not, I'll.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Ralph. Go ahead.
Okay. We're getting close to the end of the year, so it's time to announce our upcoming 2018 awards program. Last year, we inaugurated this program, and we got two successful submissions, one from the academic side and one from the industry side. And we'd like to get a lot more submissions this year. So if you can put together a proposal for an innovation award, and the instructions for doing so on our website. And you also should have received the email copy of that award announcement. It doesn't require a lot of work in terms of putting together a proposal, rather a submission, and send it to us, and we will evaluate them and announce early next year the winners. I think this innovation award would be not just a feather in somebody's cap individually, but for your organization. It's certainly a prestigious recognition.
Thanks, Ralph. Thank you. So if you would like your awards to be, you would like to be considered for the awards for 2018, please make sure you send your proposal to awards@issip.org. The next item on the agenda, we're really excited that there is a new, we're working on a new NSF proposal. This is a research program that we are basically will be proposing to NSF. It's a 100K award in probably about a year. And the goal of the award is to get perspective from industry as to what they see the future of skills, needed skills are, that then could be turn into a point of view paper, in this case, a book on through Business Expert Press that would guide universities. So that's the goal of the award. We're just starting to work on this to submit the award, and hopefully, if we end up getting the award, this is really up the alley for ISSIP, and look forward to reporting more about this. As several of you were involved, we finished 2 discovery summits in Q3. One was on August 27th, collaboration we had with Japan Science and Technology Agency on AI innovation in healthcare. And thanks to IBM and Jim, IBM Almaden, the nice location, IBM Almaden was open to us, and we hosted it there. And we had really great speakers from IBM, from JSD, Cisco, Google, Citrus, EZDI, and really good day. We had 20 participants and a really great presentations, and received a lot of good feedback from JSD, as JSD had asked us to put this together. And then on September 27th, we had another Discovery Summit on future of work. This is a theme we have followed since last year, a very important theme. And this time it was future of jobs in the age of AI as an augmented intelligence. Was at San Jose State University. We had a lot of great speakers from IBM, Cisco, Accenture, Google, Santa Clara University, USC, and more. And we have partial recordings that will be available through the website, and a subgroup of the participants of the September 27th Discovery Summit are working together to publish a book on this topic. So we're really excited about this, and you'll see more about this in the next few weeks and couple of months. And you can find out about the Discovery Summits on the link that's provided. The next item is ISSIP Cognitive Computing Institute. I believe Susan is on the call. If I saw Susan actually being on the call, so if you are, we would love to hear from you of the great work that you're doing and your excellent leadership on these calls.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Susan. Yes, please.
Yeah. So we've had about 30 calls, and in response to the remark earlier about women in technology, a third of our speakers have been women. So I think that's an excellent percentage, higher than the industry, I would say. And so we've had 30 talks this year, roughly. I've said more than 28, just to be conservative. And there've been 130 calls since inception in this series. And we get varying audiences between 20 to 120. It would be fantastic if people on this call would suggest speakers in the chat. Any people that they think would be good on the cognitive and AI topic. And also I was wondering if we should have a talk about the open data sets as well, if it's time yet, but that was another idea. And yes, please do suggest speakers and in the chat. And as it said on the slide, we have researchers speaking, we have people from companies, we have faculty sometimes. So it's very varied, and I'm eager to get feedback on what future themes and topics for upcoming talks. I was thinking of writing a blog entry towards the end of the year about the series this year and classify the topics into a blog. But looking for feedback from everybody.
Susan, I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for your fantastic leadership, organizing and getting 100 and plus speakers is not a joke. It takes a lot of effort, and I know everybody helps out with pointers, but still organizing week after week and recording the calls and lining up speakers is a lot of work, and you've done a fantastic job. And I also want to add that I don't catch them live, many of them because of the time zone constraint, but I catch the recordings, several of them, and that's a fantastic feature. So I don't know how if that can be tracked, but it's not just the 20 to 120 participation on calls, but the recordings are immensely useful. So thank you for doing that and putting them up there.
My pleasure, but I would want to be accurate. I only run the ones this year, so roughly 30. I did not do 130.
Okay, 30 in itself is a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, 30 in less than a year is a lot. Susan, thank you so much, and Diane Fidel. You know, we're also thankful to Diane, who ran the previous calls since 2014. So,
well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that, because it's certainly helping me, and I'm making lots of new connections. So it's also great for me.
And I do use the links to those, Susan, like the one that you had with the Linux Foundation recently. I sent that around to a number of people. So just adding to Rama's point that they're a very, very useful resource. So thank you so much, Susan.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Susan, we do have this alias csic@isip.org that goes directly to you. So another way to contact Susan would be through that alias.
Whoa! Does that go to me? Wow.
Yes.
Thank you. I have an alias now. Woo.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, the next item is what we are doing at HICS. HICS 2019 is from January 8th through the 11th. And as many of you know, we've been sponsoring HICS over the last, I think, 5 years at the minimum. And so this year we will continue our sponsorship. It's been really a great partnership, and every year our relationship really gets stronger thanks to our ambassador, Professor Haluk Demirkan, who joined at the beginning of the call but had to drop out. So what we're doing this year, we have 2 workshops. And of course, there's a mini track that is chaired by Haluk, Jim, and Ralph on smart service systems. And that's part of the main body of the conference, which is typically, you know, this year it's 9th through the 11th. And then the first day, January 8th, there are workshops and tutorials. And ISSIP in the past has had the opportunity of running workshops then. And we're doing 2 of those this year. So one of the workshops is on AI biases, and Rama and Amar Reyes from Cisco, who's on our board, they co-chair that session. And another one on future of work, the theme that we've been following. So one is in the morning, one is in the afternoon. And both of those workshops, we have really great speakers lined up. Are still inviting speakers, although the slots are getting filled up. So if you're going to be at HICS and are interested in participating as a speaker, please let us know. You can send a note to isip@isip.org. And even if you're not interested in speaking, but you are going to be at HICS, please let us know. There is a great ISSIP community usually at HICS, and we want to know if you're going to be there. And the other thing that we're doing this year at HICS, continuing to do, is sponsoring a Student Best Paper Award. For that, we are thankful to IBM and University of Washington. They are sponsoring, they're putting the dollars down, and it is an ISSIP IBM Center for Business Analytics of University of Washington Best Paper Award. So that's what we're doing at HICS, and let us know if you're going to be there. It's a great conference. On events, other events, basically, we participated at the human side of service engineering last July in Florida. Several sessions and great participation. Dr. Lou Front is our ambassador there, and I know Jim is very active. Dr. Clara Bassano is very active there, and I'm sure there are others that I'm missing. We basically had our 2 Discovery Summits, so there's no more scheduling of Discovery Summits. Oh, I'm sorry, we are going to be, instead of a winter Discovery Summit, we're going to be at Fraunhofer. So there is as part of a virtual summit, Fraunhofer, so we'll be.
And Yasi, I put the registration link into the chat for anybody that wants to register for that. It's it's a 24-hour virtual world tour around the world, and but you can just go in for 2-hour segments in different places. And I think 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time on December 4th is when the session that we'll be part of is happening.
Excellent, thanks, Jim. And then we also participated in Frontiers in Service. I know Jim was leading that, and he's our ambassador there. We will be participating and sponsoring a Women in Technology conference at Citrus, and happy that our president, Rama, will be speaking there. I already mentioned Fraunhofer, and talked about Hicks. Also, as many of you know, we've been sponsoring human side of service engineering over the last 4 or 5 years. And what will happen was basically a conference off of applied human factors and ergonomics. And to be more inclusive of our European colleagues, we've decided to alternate between having that conference as part of the Naples Forum and continue with AHFE. So next year in 2019, that will be part of the Naples Forum, and in 2020 will be part of AHFE in San Diego, and then we'll keep alternating. And then we're also working with University of Washington, exploring another sponsorship, since they actually sponsored something with ISSIP so that we could jointly sponsor other conferences. We keep publishing more and more books, thanks to Jim and Haluk. Already 34 books published as part of Business Expert Press, Service Innovation in Business and Society. One of the latest ones is one that I'm honored to have co-authored with Jim and Haluk on T-shaped professionals. And something that we're very excited about is we're strengthening our partnership with Business Expert Press. Going forward, you will see ISSIP's logo on these series, which is really great. So thanks to Jim and Haluk for that, to giving ISSIP members such a great opportunity to get their thought leadership out there and be associated with this very prestigious publication.
And for people who don't have a book in the series yet, I urge you to draft an outline, because these are short books, many of them only about 90 pages long, and some of them have come from professionals who took a series of blog posts that turned into chapters, others more academic, but it's a great opportunity for everyone to think about.
Yeah, and to that end, I want to add, I had it on a different slide, but this is a good place to mention this. Something we are experimenting with is really, we think that these book series are a lot of value to our members, and a great way for those who want to show their thought leadership to leverage these book series and be authors. So one of the things that we're doing, we are combining this ability to publish through Business Expert Press and Discovery Summits. So Discovery Summits, they're on themes that are typically our institutional members are interested on. So we are really inviting those who come to Discovery Summits as by invitation only to also volunteer to be contribute a chapter to a book rather than writing a whole book, which to some could be a little bit daunting. So that way, you can write 5 to 10 pages and still be published. So that's something we're experimenting with, and hopefully this way ISSIP can increase its value for its members. So if you're interested to learn more, please drop me a note and I can provide more information on this. Okay, I know Michelle is on the call. Michelle, you want to tell us the great work that you've been doing with the ISSIP newsletter with Salvatore?
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I'll leave it to others to render their opinion. But anyhow, sadly, Salvatore is on a plane on his way here to New York. Otherwise, he would join us. So I'm Michelle Tomich. I'm very privileged to work as the editor of the ISSIP newsletter. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I wanted to share 3 things about the newsletter that I think are important and useful to ISSIP members. First off, the newsletter, let me just do a little housekeeping. Newsletter comes out at the 15th of every month. If you send us information within a few days of that, we can typically include it. And what sort of things are we looking to include? If you would have looked at the newsletters that we published since June, you'll find a place where you can learn about ISSIP leaders and active members. We were privileged to interview senior ISSIP leaders. Oh,
sorry.
No problem.
Oh, I think I muted you, Michelle. Unmute yourself. If you're not speaking, could you please mute yourself? I'm trying.
It's kind of late in Italy, and I think it's Florence little kids coming to say, "Mommy."
Okay, we'll work around.
He says iPhone. See if you want to mute the iPhone. Yeah.
No problem. Anyhow, just to quickly sum up what I was saying, the newsletter is a place to learn about ISSIP leaders and active members, what everyone is doing. We're always looking to interview people, and we have a queue of the ISSIP ambassadors. If you're an active member and you would like us to interview you or to recommend someone, do please let us know. We also look forward to sharing your content, announcements, recent work, publications. We also try to keep up to date on workshops. You can send it to us by email or via Twitter, whatever is your preferred means of communication. So the newsletter is really a place to, get some current info. It's in your inbox around the 15th of every month, and we're looking forward to getting to know all of you and sharing that information via this newsletter tool. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Michelle and Salvatore, both.
Thank you, Michelle and Salvatore. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's a lot of work to put together a newsletter, and the latest ones that are coming up are full of such useful information and are also written in a very engaging style and fun to read, including the interviews that have been posted, and all the great information that's coming. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll share that with Salvatore.
Yeah, Michelle, I want to thank you and Salvatore as well. This is Jim, and I really like the newsletters and the direction. They're matured wonderfully, and also you do a great job of connecting ISSIP to other professional associations, which I think is wonderful, really in the spirit of ISSIP as an umbrella professional association. So thanks, Michelle, and please thank Salvatore as well.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to zip through the remaining slides to leave a few minutes for discussion. So updates on special interest groups. We will be recruiting soon for basically chair and co-chair of the ISSIP education SIG. So if you're interested, please drop me a note. Service Innovation Framework SIG has been busy continuing the work on developing a book we're working on the great work that Gerhard had started, and Heather and DJ Christman and Valerie and a whole bunch of other people Jim have contributed to. So stay tuned for that. We're working with Daniela San Giorgi to restart the service design SIG. It's been sort of on hold. The same thing with SDN. We're working with Casimir with new ideas how we can get things started and reinvigorated there. And as for chapters, I don't have the slide. There hasn't been much change since last quarter. As always, I'm not going to go through this list, but these are names that I could remember, how the people who have contributed to ISSIP by contributing to ISSIP Discovery Summits, to chapters, to the AI projects, to special interest groups, and many more projects. So thank you all so much. And ISSIP is all about volunteers, and we have great volunteers who share their time, their thought leadership, and we're very grateful to all of you. Update on institutional memberships. We've been basically Accenture, Facebook, United Healthcare, Optima, and Google. We've been having representatives from these companies active in various fronts at ISSIP, and together we're trying to co-create value. And as I mentioned, we're experimenting with this, what I call the three-pronged model, that ISSIP basically will jointly develop a survey that is of interest to the institutional member. We conduct a discovery summit, and then we publish a book. If you are if you are interested in how this would work for your institution, please drop me a note. And the way you can drop me a note is yossi@isip.org or execder@isip.org. Corbett mentioned some of this, just an update on individual membership. We've had about 9 members a month increase. Now, this time you see a difference between WordPress and MailChimp, and you know, this is the 2 different databases that we track, and going forward, we want to show what's happening on both, because you know, they're both good representation of what's happening at ISSIP. The breakout of individual membership hasn't changed much, and we've seen a new enterprise represented in our membership. That's Ernst & Young. And here are our financial updates. I'm not going to go through the numbers, just leaving it here for you to see if you have any questions. Basically nothing unexpected. And we now have only 4 minutes. If there are no questions on this, we now have 4 minutes for discussions. So I would like to open it up to everyone to, if there's anything on your mind, any suggestions, any questions for the board and others.
Thanks again, Yossi, for compiling all of that. That's quite a good documentation of all the activities in the last quarter. Thank you.
Well, great teamwork.
And I wanted to just say, you know, this is my first meeting. Just I know I've been a member for a while, and I'm just amazed the richness of activities going on. I mean, my God, I didn't even realize all along by attending the Discovery Summits. I've only seen a very small microcosm. So I just want to congratulate all the leadership for carrying on this so beautifully. Look forward to more.
Thank you so much, PK.
And PK, Northeastern's innovations and some other innovations could be candidates for the ISSIP Innovation Award. So put your thinking cap on that for sure, and spread the word to anyone where you see opportunities, because I think that's a great program for just calling out innovative thinking and additional community members as well.
Well, the A word always gets my attention, so we'll look into it.
Yeah, see, I had a quick question around the new lead for the education SIG. If we had people who were interested, how might they go about applying?
Well, let me, basically they can send me a note and just a very short background of what they do.
Got it. Thank you.
And if we were doing this right, we would have a call for volunteers. So we should have a call for volunteer. So we'll have that soon.
Sounds good.
Any other questions, thoughts, suggestions? Well, I want to thank everyone on this call and beyond this call, because this is a teamwork. I couldn't have done any of this without all of you here. So thank you so much, and thanks for your ongoing contributions. And really honored and privileged.
Thank you, Yassi. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye all.